And 1, 2, 3. Alright, so in this video, let's take a look at capacitors, the basic functioning of a capacitor and how they work in a circuit. So it says a capacitor is a device for storing electric charge. In effect, it is a reservoir into which charge can be deposited and then later extracted. Typical applications include reservoir and smoothing capacitor for use in power supply, coupling AC signals, discharging through this resistor. I have a 100 ohm resistor here. Okay, so now let's charge the capacitor. So I'm going to flip the switch to the position of the battery. I have the battery here. At that point, the capacitor will start charging. Notice, let me pause this for a second. Notice what happens at the moment that I flip the switch. This here, when I have the mouse, this here is a spike of current that happened right at the moment when I flip the switch. At the moment when I flip the switch, let me put it back. Let me run this. Notice what happened at the moment that I flip the switch. Now there is a spike of current in the other direction. I'm going to flip it to this direction to charge the capacitor. And notice the spike of current that I have. That spike of current happens because there is a surge of electron rushing through the capacitor. When the capacitor is fully discharged, the capacitor is empty, it acts as a short circuit, meaning that the current flowing through the capacitor is maximum current. And the green line, so the yellow line is the current. Alright, so at first current is a maximum current, and then the current across the capacitor starts decreasing, and the reason is that the capacitor starts gaining charge. The green line is the voltage across the capacitor. As the capacitor is charging, the voltage increasing and the current is decreasing. The capacitor eventually is going to charge to the full voltage of the power supply, which is 5 volts. At that point, the current is basically zero, and the capacitor is acting as an open. There is a difference of voltage across the capacitor. All right. So if we continue to run this, notice that eventually the current is going to reach to zero, and the capacitor is going to hold the full value of the power supply, and it will stay there. So now if we flip the switch here to this position, notice what happens now. There is a surge of current, but this time the surge of current is going to be in the opposite direction. Why in the opposite direction? Because before, when we were charging the capacitor, current was flowing in this direction, okay? But when we flip the switch, now current is going to flow in the other direction. So now the capacitor becomes the power supply, the power source in the circuit. So now current is going to flow through the circuit and through the resistor. And notice the voltage. Notice what happens to the voltage. The voltage starts to decrease. The voltage starts to decrease. Why? Because we have current flowing through the resistance, so we have energy dissipation across the resistor. So the voltage in the energy stored inside the capacitor is going to dissipate across the resistor to the point that the capacitor is empty. All right. So this is the video that I wanted to do in order to understand the functioning of a capacitor. So thanks for watching.